can you walk us through kind of where you were before working with us versus where you are now?
So before that, I may have been getting 5 leads a month. It's now at the beginning of January, there's about 130 leads there.
Before working with us, had you tried anything else? And if you did, how would you say the results kind of compared?
My experience beforehand was don't need paid ads, but my experience now is I'll never go back to not having them.
Is there any final advice for business owners who are kind of considering building out a proper client acquisition system?
Yeah, I would say get precise on the kind of clients that you want. Since working with you, I've been very accurate in who I want to work with and who I don't want to work with.
Alex, can you introduce yourself quickly, who you are, what your firm does, and who you typically kind of work with?
I am Alex Byrne. I work for Checkmate Wealth, who is also associated to Mural Crown. We specialize in corporate restructuring. So be that for growing business, exiting businesses, or even trying to pass on businesses and assets, that is our primary focus.
Nice. So Alex, can you walk us through kind of where you were before working with us versus where you are now, and specifically around the leads generated and the booked calls on a monthly basis?
So before getting any online, what you say, strategic marketing in place, I was running about like a headless chicken trying to get introducers to get me clients. Because I was trying to get clients directly, but only so many people want to talk to people like me about structuring their assets differently. Usually they're going to an accountant, or they're going to a solicitor, or they're depending on a financial advisor to give them these answers. But what I knew from our case is we have a structure that is beyond what can traditionally be offered. And the only scope I had of getting it out there was going to the solicitor, going to the financial advisor, going to the accountant, and getting them to understand to then tell their clients. So because of that, completely unravel the whole world of people who, yes, want to take things further, but also see you as a threat for trying to take a client. So that's what put me into the mindset of, right, I need to go direct. And how the hell can I go direct? And then that's when we met. So before that, I may have been getting 5 leads a month, maybe. And you're dependent on how other people introduce that client and what they tell them and how they tell them, which is out of your control completely. And then people could be coming to you, which you think are warm, but realistically they're not warm because you just want them to be warm. So thankfully, Josh recommended that I had a conversation with you. And within, like, things have gotten really warm now, and it's been 3 months, but in the first month, the shift I noticed already, you were able to go directly to the client. The client was, nobody was in their way. We placed the exact piece of content we wanted them to see. We could see exactly what they were picking up on or what they weren't picking up on. So you knew what was already in their head pre-conversation. Whilst previously you didn't, you were just hoping that the introducer said the right thing at the right time and in the right way. But in this case, you already knew anybody coming to the table was maybe not completely qualified, but somewhat qualified because you told them exactly what you wanted them to hear, the way you wanted to say it. So when did we get together, Kai? We got in about the end of September, didn't really get things rolling until the end of October. It's now the beginning of January. There's about 130 leads there.
Nice.
Right.
Fantastic.
At the end of November, there was 35.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
really ramping things up, aren't we?
In 5 weeks, there's been about 100 extra leads, and that's what I was going to get on to you about, which we can talk after this. But out of 100, and let's just take 100 for example, 25 of them are in ongoing conversations. Nice. 3 or 4 have already went to the near final stages with my guys at Mural Crown, and that's as fast as any sort of system has been in place today regarding a client coming to the table. Because with an introducer, although it's still useful, and I will never negate that fact, the process can take 9 months to a year.
Wow.
Right now we're seeing from clients interaction. Now for what we do, it's obviously different, the financial landscape, but the point is still evident. It's picked up like mad. The trust is there. You're giving people the right tools. They're meeting the team quicker. It's efficient. And the biggest thing about it all is because we've nothing to hide, even when it comes to, like, bring in your professional, bring in your accountant, bring in anybody you want. it's just made the situation from first point of contact to getting them where you want to 10 times faster.
Nice, I love that. It's really good to hear that not just has the lead volume massively increased, quality is kind of staying there, and also the speed to never hearing about you before to essentially giving you their hard-earned money is being reduced by 75% by the sounds of it. It's gone from a year to 3 months, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I was going to ask as well, like one thing we've actually really focused on heavily is on qualification. So making sure people are pre-filtered, like they're qualified before the call's even booked with you. So obviously we've done that with not just how the ad speaks to our prospects, but also the really engaging VSL that we scripted and you fantastically kind of presented, as well as all the kind of questions and the dynamic lead capture that we've built on it. How do you think that's going to change the quality of the conversations you're having compared to before?
Well, it's back to that point. Knowing that I'm not having to rely on people to say the right thing, because I know I've already said the right thing. I know they're coming to the table with good intention.
Nice.
So I suppose you can even deliver it with that good intention mindset. Like, I do not know how people talk about me. I just hope it's good. And if it isn't, then it isn't. But being able to just, because at the end of the day, what's what we all want? We want to go direct to the client. We think of all these, tangential ways to try and get around it because we're trying to get the client. But that in of itself has allowed me the confidence to know I know what I'm talking about. They know what they're listening to. Although it might confuse them to begin with, they know I'm the next step to find what they need. And because the way we've created it and the way we've brought it out and shared it with people, it's highlighting from the get-go that what you're doing isn't wrong. It's just what we're doing is what other people can't show you unless we've talked to those people too. So it's allowed the individual, it's allowed the client to realize there might be bits of information out there that no one's going to tell them about, that somebody just with a really good funnel and lead generator that can.
Nice.
Now, obviously, some people aren't going to be able to tell them that from out the bat, but for them to figure out. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. And just out of kind of curiosity, really, what's been your experience working with us? So like the onboarding, kind of communication, speed of us getting you results and any ongoing support. How would you describe it?
Quick. Like from getting things set up. Yeah, we had a bit of an issue with emails, but that was not even to do with you. It's been quick. From if I have an issue and I text you or we arrange a call, you get an answer pretty quick. If we need to make an amendment, it's very quick. Even into the process of wondering where a client is in the journey, that's pretty quick. Even for your ideas on how to chase up with clients and different avenues and strategies and how to talk to them differently, even though you've no idea who I'm talking to, you just know that there's different ways to get into their head, essentially. That's also been effective. So I say quick, not rushed. It's to the point is what it is, like, because obviously I'm able to pick up from, the learning that you've done in marketing of what is going to make somebody pay attention the quickest. Not close the quickest, essentially, but pay attention the quickest, which is all you need at the end of the day if you've got a good product.
Yep.
It's been quick and you've been clear the whole way, as is your team.
Nice. Love that. Thanks. Really appreciate it. Before working with us, had you tried anything else? So did you try hiring in-house or work with other agencies, or did you even attempt to build anything yourself? And if you did, how would you say the results kind of compared? I know you spoke about speaking with introducers and whatnot, but was there anything else other than that?
Yeah, I tried my own YouTube for a while, which I still think it's useful. Like, it can bring in people, but the amount of hours and time that I put into creating, which is still, I know it's useful in its own regard, but you're making content, short form content, long form content, cutting it down yourself, trying to get into the mind of the ICP, trying to use ChatGPT to really understand who you're talking to, what they want to hear. Then to fast forward all of that, which was taking maybe about 70% of my wake up, sitting in cafes, creating content, to coming home and recording it, to having 3 videos that have been recorded in October, doing more of the heavy lifting than all of that put together. So it means I can focus on what I want to focus on. Bringing me in the qualified lead, I can get ready for the meeting and then qualify them even more to see if it's something we need to take on further. So it's the angle, and everybody has this sort of confrontation if they're in business. Should they do their own advertising or should they do paid ads? My experience beforehand was don't need paid ads, but my experience now is I'll never go back to not having them.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. So that's quite interesting. As you were saying, I didn't realize because I've said before, I really enjoy your content. I think it's a really useful pillar to pre-engage people as well as all the obviously hard work we're doing. I didn't realize it would take that much of your week up, like 70% of your week. Yeah. Other than having natural conversations with the leads that we're bringing you, because I mean, hopefully in this video, I'll chuck up some screenshots of your calendar the last few weeks, which is pretty chock-a-block. But other than those actual calls, how much time do you think you're actually spending on lead generation? Obviously, with us now coming in and taking it off for you.
Minimal.
Okay, nice. Nice.
Like, there's still some content that I was over with the guys recently. We've recorded some content which I'm editing and posting out gradually, but I'd say maybe 10% of my week.
Nice. Wow, that's really good. I mean, now that we've kind of tested a lot of the big hooks and the big content and whatnot, there will be some more homework for you to do for recording some ads for us. But other than that, yeah, exactly. That's kind of how we want to build it. We want it so that there's very minimal input needed from from the onboarding, because our onboarding so rigorous. We get everything from the first 4 weeks of working together, and then after that, there's very minimal input needed, and you just have to turn up and close the deals that we're putting in front of you, which is great. Yeah,
the other big thing which you and I came in at the genesis of us actually working together was the language that Facebook and Meta do not particularly like.
Yep.
So that was a good area for me to learn and for you to learn as well, which you have, and so have I, in massive ways. There's so many ways to get your point across. And whenever you can just use, by having conversations with compliance officers and financial people from all spectrums, from soliciting to wealth management, which I know you have, and even likes of myself, how to angle it pristinely so it just doesn't ever become an issue, and it can just meet the right people. It can meet the people that you want to meet.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's such an important factor, actually, when you're looking at advertising, not just paid, but in general for financial products. There's so many strict regulations.
Yeah.
That you really need to balance that direct response marketing that works really well with the regulatory framework that all countries have in place. But yeah, no, exactly. We're very hot on that. And like you said, we work with a lot of compliance officers to make sure that everything we do is always compliant. Alex, just have a few more questions before we round up. Really, like, if someone's watching this and they're on the fence about kind of investing in a system like this, what would you tell them? And what would you say to a firm owner who's kind of still relying on referrals or isn't sure if paid acquisition can actually work in financial services?
Well, just, are you satisfied with what you're getting right now? Because you can keep trying. You can get into the heads of many other people. You can try to hire everybody else all day long. You can bring out a new product and think it's the best thing ever. But if it's not getting into the heads of the people that you want, the way you want it to get into their head, well, then it's not getting in. And the issue is, which I will say that I am quite, there's a pro and a con to this. I'm grateful for the fact that no one offers what we offer, because it stands out like a sore thumb. Same time, if something was offered to a lot of people, then to sit and think that the people who are actually putting in the time, effort, and the money to get the paid advertisements in front of people are going to somehow be below the way you're doing things is a delusion, and you're holding yourself back. I understand it might be a change of mentality to think, but I know everything. And delegating it to somebody who might not be working in your system, and it doesn't matter if you've worked 40 years in a profession or 30 or 20, or you've got so many qualifications. If you do not know how to get it into the right people's minds, then it's not going to get into their minds. And trust me, somebody's paying someone to do that. So I would say that.
Nice. Love that. And last question, Alex, is there any final advice for business owners who are kind of considering building out a proper client acquisition system?
Yeah, I would say get precise on the kind of clients that you want, because again, because I could say I'm somewhat fresh at what I do, it's been 2 years, so I've kind of came in nicely to meeting some very reasonable good clients. Some people who can get in quick, wants to understand quick. But previously to doing what we're doing, I was chasing all day long, hoping they would understand, hoping it would close, hoping it would go forward. But since working with you, I've been very accurate in who I want to work with and who I don't want to work with. And the
Nice.
people who I want to work with have stepped forward, and the people who I don't haven't touched it at all. So what I would say, because a lot of people listening may be in a profession that might be of there for the last 5, 10, 15, even up to 40 years sometimes.
Mhm.
And because you're so used to helping everyone, which I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. All I am saying, because of the question, is you can get the clients that you want as long as you know the client that you want. Because with the right wording and the right advertising, which you assist with and you have assisted me with, you're getting the right client that you want.
Nice. Amazing. Thanks, Alex, so much for your time. Thanks for answering those questions.
No problem.
Yeah,